Once upon a time, there was a group of dads who started playing D&D. This is their story.
Hello and welcome to D&D with Dads, the Patron game. It is time for a quick intro, very quick, because this campaign has been going on. And those of you who are patrons, you'll get little backstories and flashbacks about the different characters, and you'll have short videos to kind of get to know them. But for this episode, we're going right into it. So here's the setup. This campaign is set in the Forgotten Realms, in a mysterious time in the Forgotten Realms timeline where I choose what I want to use and ignore the things I don't want to use. And it's fantastic, isn't it, guys?
Oh,
Yeah.
the most.
Yes, absolutely. So you guys are actually, the campaign thus far has been set in the region known as the Vast, which is near the Dragon Reach and near the Sea of Fallen Stars. So your campaign has taken you over what seems like quite a lot of land, but really it isn't. We're just in a small fraction of the Forgotten Realms right now. So you have decided to join a mysterious wizard named Shem Tetra, who at one point was possibly going to be an arch villain and enemy. And then you guys actually interacted with him and kind of found out some very interesting revelations from Shem, and you decided to join him. And
The double cross is real. It's still our intention to
Peace and love.
right?
yes. So you came to know that Shem is clearly well financed, based on the large volume of platinum and gold that he has at his disposal. You guys chartered a ship to take you through the Dragon Reach without any issues from the Sembian Navy. And that ship was the Rusty Axe, captained by Captain Katie. And you guys arrived in the northern port town of Ilrafan, and then traveled east along the road, kind of through the Troll Mountains, towards a small village called Tavalar. And it is there that Shem has indicated he wants to scout out land that he can buy and begin the construction of essentially, a base of operations. But he has revealed to you that there is a place to the north of Tavalar, along the southern edge of the flooded forest, which is known as the Mage's Tower. And the Mage's Tower is a bit shrouded in mystery. You guys don't really know a whole lot about it. But as you have arrived in Tavalar at night, you were able to acquire rooms in an inn. And we're going to start with the morning. So you guys have all benefited from a long rest. And the smell of breakfast wafts up to the second and third floor rooms. And you hear the sounds of people below. And breakfast sure does smell good. So what do you do?
First thing I do, you recall that I am sharing a bed with Blingo.
Yes.
That's right. Our goblin friend.
So
Is he potty trained yet?
Yeah.
well,
Blingo-
He's housebroken. We
Yeah,
discussed this.
Blingo basically sat at the foot of your bed, kind of like a cat. Like he kind of curled up near your feet.
So I'm going to see if he's awake, first of all.
Like a cat, or maybe more like a dog. As soon as you get up, Blingo like wakes up. And he's like,
And then I'm going to look around the room to see if Shem is awake yet.
you do not see Shem in his bed.
Well, that's not good. I overslept then.
You aren't sure about oversleeping. It's like dawn. Like you can gauge by the amount of light coming through the shutters of your room in the inn that it's not like you don't feel like you overslept. It's not real bright out.
Well, I asked Blingo, hey Blingo, are you hungry?
Yes, Blingo is always hungry, of course.
Well, let's go find the room with the others. I'm sure that they can help you disguise as you were disguised yesterday.
Yes. So, across the hall from you guys basically, between you guys and your collective group of mercenary hirelings who you have fondly called the Red Shirts, they are also on the same floor. So you guys, as far as you know, your entire group are the only rooms on this floor. Acker, you hear, before you even roll out of bed, you hear the sound of movement across the hall. And you hear like the voice of Blingo muttering something about sausages.
Sounds like something me as a cat person would be very interested in. So I guess I would get up and follow the rest. Yeah, go out and see what's going on.
You take a peek out and you see Durant and Blingo coming out of their room. Down the hall, Estroff, you and Riff, you kind of hear people getting up. You hear some sounds of movement, doors being opened and shuffling of feet.
Estroff, go see who's up. It's way too early. See if it's anybody that matters.
Do you not smell the bacon? It's time to go down, my friend.
All right. Let me just shake the whatever out of my head that I was dreaming about just now. I won't talk about that with you because you always make
Probably
fun.
not PG.
Captain Kitty.
All right. Riff gets up
Hey,
and
not your dreams.
neatens himself, starts heading out.
So all of you kind of collectively get your stuff together. You rouse the Red Shirts. They're waking up. And the only one from your entire group who is not coming out of a room is Shem Tetra. When you descend the stairs and go into the common room, you see it's very busy. Looks like a lot of the locals might be here just having breakfast, but it also looks like some travelers who have stopped at Tavalar because of its kind of central location through a dangerous area. Also, maybe patrons of the inn are there. Almost all the tables are full except for a large round table in the corner, kind of close to the fireplace, where you see Shem Tetra. You notice that Shem, well, he looks the same. He still looks very old, very human, and very bald and wrinkly. But he is wearing like a robe, like a comfortable robe. He doesn't look like a valet or a steward. He's not wearing like formal pants and a blousey shirt and a jacket. He's just kind of down dressed in a robe. And you notice he's not even wearing shoes. He's wearing slippers, but he is enjoying a breakfast at this large round table. The Red Shirts actually walk over to the bar and just begin ordering food. Do you guys join Shem or
so Durant is going to go and pull up a chair a little too uncomfortably close to Shem, and basically I'm touching thighs with Shem.
Touching thighs.
So Durant.
Jesus.
Good morning, Shem. How are you?
You do, and Shem seems to, as you guys approach the table, Shem just looks up and he's like, "Good morning. I trust that all of you slept in a sufficient manner."
Are we all there?
I'm at the bar. I
Can
follow
we
the
all
red shirts.
Can we all be touching thighs with Shem?
So I will
I
say
don't know
that
that there's that much thigh.
I will say that Blingo kind of almost like stealthed along with Durant, kind of like hiding, next to him like a small child. And once Durant got to the table, Blingo kind of like darted under the table and kind of like is just crouched down. Not between Shem and Durant, but more just kind of like by Durant's feet.
He's not disguised yet, right?
No. The other thing that you'll notice, so Estroff, you walk over to the bar with the Red Shirts and you pull yourself up onto a stool and you see the bartenders, they like nods to you guys and And he goes back into the kitchen and he goes, 6 breakfasts. And then Riff, what are you doing? Where are you going?
I was gonna find Marissa at the bar. I don't know if I can recognize her. I don't know if she's wearing her helmet or anything right now, or is she just free of it finally?
None of the red shirts are in armor.
Okay.
It looks like they came down in their common clothes.
Yeah.
She is wearing a set of clothes, and it looks like she kind of has her hair pulled up into a cap. So it's kind of, there's like a big knot of like hair under her cap. So her head kind of looks weird, but you're able to make out where she is in the crowd.
Is she still looking kind of androgynous, or is she like
a little bit? Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she's definitely wearing the same like clothes and like the padding that goes underneath their armor that all the other red shirts are wearing.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna head over and chat with her some more, continue our conversation from the previous night.
Okay. So I'm gonna deal with the guys at the bar in just a minute. Acker, you are sitting with Shem and Durant.
Yeah, maybe I'm not touching thighs, but yeah, I'll go there. I guess what Acker's looking to do is get some more information on the day ahead.
So I'll tell you that as you passed through the common room, a lot of the locals seem to like look up at the fact that you are a Tabahi, and like there was like a little bit of, not like panic, but like murmur, a cat person, murmur. Like, you know, it looks like they perhaps have not seen one of your kind, or maybe have only heard of them. But no, you don't detect any kind of like aggression or negative vibes coming from anyone. And you sit on the other side of Durant, next to Shem as well. Shem looks to you and he says, "Today seems to be a fine day to begin exploring my landholding options. I have an appointment to meet with the clerk of the village and to look over some of the available land for purchase. I will, at some point perhaps later today, require a few of the hirelings to accompany me on a survey if I do find any parcels of land which are interesting."
Where do you think our time should be best spent?
I'm quite glad that you asked. I have a very specific suggestion, but we should discuss it. And he kind of like looks around the room. Perhaps after breakfast.
Okay, fair enough.
And he goes back to eating. A few minutes later, one of the serving boys runs out with 2 more platters of food in it. They basically look like they just serve like whatever that breakfast is for the day to everyone. Like there aren't options. So you both get this same plate that everybody at the bar gets, and it's like a slab of like potato and some eggs and a few sausages and like a chunk of bread. Durant, what do you wish to discuss while you're at the table?
So the first thing is, are there sausages left on Shem's plate?
Yes, actually. You see that Shem has had like
Some Katie all over again.
It looks like he's had like a little bit of everything, but like he definitely doesn't clear his plate.
Can Durant eat the sausage suggestively?
Well, what I was actually going to do was take the sausage from his plate and give it to Blingo. But
yes, you now are you trying to be discreet about this?
Oh no.
Okay, so you basically just take the sausage and like put it under the table, and basically like a dog, Blingo's like, yes, thank you, and like helps himself to whatever scraps you give him. At a certain point,
also give him some of my potatoes and sausages. Actually, sausages, because he probably doesn't eat potatoes. So,
yeah, he definitely doesn't eat taters.
Spuds.
So you you guys basically, by the time you get your food, Shem is like kind of done, and he says, "Enjoy your breakfast. I will adjourn to my room to put on my proper attire. Perhaps the four of you could meet me in my room, our room, I should say, upon completion of your breakfast." And he sits back and stands up and kind of starts shuffling in his slippers and robe back towards.
I'm gonna perception check on him walking away just to see if there's anything going on suspicious with his movement.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not great. That is a 9 total.
You get the sense that he's kind of moving in the same way that somebody who like had a rough night would move, like his neck or his back is stiff kind of thing. And you're like, yeah, those beds do kind of suck, compared to the nice beds that you guys were sleeping in when you were, guests of Lord Trevor. So you were finishing up your breakfast. Smash cut to the bar. Riff, you kind of saddle up towards Red Trish, and she kind of turns, and they're all just getting their food, and a plate comes down next to you, and Estroff, you get a plate, and the red shirts are they look hungry, so they're all kind of eating, not talking a whole lot. It's early in the morning. But she kind of sees you and looks over to you, and she's like, good morning. How did you sleep?
Good morning, Marissa. I just wanted to see if you were enjoying your breakfast. He has to continue his mocking of Shem that he was doing with her last night.
She laughs. She's like, you better not let him hear you do that. He might turn you into a frog.
Nah, he wouldn't do that. Yeah, I just wanted to come see how you were doing. After your big revelation last night, how do you feel now that the cat's out of the bag?
She says, honestly, I feel good. I feel like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah, that's important. Are you nervous at all about getting a message to your father when he finds out, when old Bellyote finds out?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, but I think when the time is right, and I could send him a letter and let him know that I've made my own way, and I think he'll be proud, or at least I hope he will be.
Yeah, I think he will. He seemed like a pretty understanding kind of guy, and just let him know that you're not any danger. Riff's got his eye on you. I mean, I'm watching out for you. That's what I mean by saying that.
And she smiles and laughs. Astroff, down at your end of the bar, it's a little more quiet. The red shirts, they're all kind of like groggy, and a couple of them are like, oh man, those beds are worse than sleeping on a pile of sticks outside in the woods.
I would have to say I know for a fact that those were worse than a pile of sticks. And then I want to go ahead and order, I don't know, some wine for the group just to try to make it up to them.
Okay. The innkeeper seems pleased that someone's ordering something more than breakfast. So he's like, right away, sir, right away. And
what's the etiquette for drinking wine for breakfast?
It varies from place to place, but it seems like the bartender seems to be just a little bit pleased to have this many people in the inn. Like it's clearly like a busy day, and he's got like 2 teenage kids helping to run food out, and he seems very happy to please and to make sure that you're all getting what you want. So he, in short order, brings out a bunch of wood goblets and kind of pours the wine out across, and basically drains the bottle across the bar for you and your guys, and they kind of look up and they're like, cheers, thanks mate.
It's no problem.
And you guys, you enjoy your breakfast. You enjoy your wine. The red shirts, after having some breakfast and enjoying their goblets, they all kind of look to you and they're like, so hey, any idea what we're doing next, or are we still just on guard duty?
I really don't know.
Right. Well, we'd better go get cleaned up and ready for the day.
Yeah, it's probably going to be adventurous, no matter what.
Right. So the 4 of the red shirts, they head up. The one that you know as Red Trish, who is talking to Riff, you see her kind of lag behind, and she's like, I'm just gonna wait until they're done getting suited up. She's like, so do you know what Shem has planned for us today?
I know that he wants to meet up with the 4 of us later and get more into details. But I think getting our base of operations established is kind of the order of the day. So probably some more finer details about that.
Sure, that makes sense. So you guys kind of make small talk for a little bit, and about 15 minutes later, everybody's kind of finished up their breakfast, and you notice 2 of the red shirts come down with all their gear on, their full armor and everything, and they go out to the barn.
Durant is going to look over at Riff and Esterov at this point and sort of beckon them over to the table.
Okay.
Riff especially.
You guys see Acker and Durant sitting at the table where Shem was, and he beckons you over.
Yeah, I walk over.
Yeah,
Riff,
I'm down with some trouble.
If you look under the table, you might see something that we forgot about.
Oh, hey, little guy. Yeah, let me just help you with that. Riff uses one of his not minor illusion, but his first level illusion spell to make something that he can concentrate on and keep Blingo looking like a little kid again, more than a goblin.
What's the duration for that? Is that like an all day thing?
No, you would ask that, wouldn't you?
I mean, no. What a great genius idea! Well
probably
played.
An hour, if I had to guess. But,
yeah, it's an hour.
But that's enough to get it, so we could deal with it. Yeah, it's smart.
So there you go, Birdie. Now you're Birdie, the human child.
Thank you. And you see the human child Blingo come up from under the table and like look around, and then he takes like the plate that Shem was eating and he just starts like eating the eggs, like the scraps, and like licking the grease spots on the plate from where the sausages had been sitting.
Can I get him a proper meal?
Sure.
Yeah, so I sort of, motion over to the bar, and
the minute that you raise your hand, one of the teenagers like runs over and he's like, yes.
Plate of sausages, please. To fill the plate with sausages.
Of course, yes. I'll be right back. And he runs off. And in like 3 minutes, he comes back with a plate of steaming hot sausages, and he sets them down in front of you, and he kind of like looks at you and he's like, do your kind eat a lot of pork? Is that why you like the sausages?
Yep, nailed it.
Oh, okay.
I kind of smile and show him a little bit of fangs, and yeah.
Okay. No problem. We have lots of we'll have ham tomorrow. You'll really like that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. And he like runs off.
Cool. And then I motion over to Blingo, and then I grab one for myself and let him sort of go to town.
Blingo's like, this platter is all for us.
Have at it, buddy. We've got a long day ahead of us.
Thank you, tall furry friend. And he starts eating the sausages and like just relishing the taste and like
You do realize we're probably going to have the roundest goblin around.
We look. Let's all admit to ourselves that we haven't fully thought this out. Okay.
What?
Go with-
Although he's relishing the sausages, it takes him like maybe a minute tops to finish off the entire plate. And by the end of it, he's like licking the plate and like licking the grease off of his fingers. And he's like, delicious sausages.
I imagine he's got a decent metabolism. I'm sure he'll burn it off.
So,
Okay, so I guess we fill in the guys on what Shem told us.
Well, have we gone up to Shem yet?
do you guys want to go up?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Well, when we finish, yeah. When Blingo is finished.
Yeah. So Blingo finishes up and still appearing to be a child. You don't see anybody really paying attention to him, coupled with the fact that at least half the room is just straight up like staring, but like with smiles now and like interest and curiosity at Acker. And you guys kind of pass through the common room. You go up the stairs to your floor and go to your rooms. I'm assuming you guys at this point would get kind of dressed and armored up for the day.
Yep.
Okay.
Does
Durant
have a few minutes alone before talking to Shem?
Yeah. So if that's what I was going to say is like, if you wanted to do whatever you needed to do, well, I think that you did your prayers because you were third watch. So you're done with that, right?
Yeah, I would have done the prayers already, but more I was thinking of sending to Zeb again to like explain the message from last night.
Okay. All right. I mean, basically you could go into Riff and Estroff's room. So what do you want to do for the sending?
Okay, so I'm going to send it to Zev, and does somebody want to count words for me?
Sure.
All right, so Zev, last night's message only allows 25-word response.
I just now remember what happened last time.
I only heard hello.
For those of you who weren't in the private Patron game last time, here's what happened. Erik sent an NPC a message, and the NPC replied but ran out of words, so his message got cut off.
You're at 14 right now, Erik.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Please respond, but be more concise.
20.
Oh, I have 5 more.
Love, Durant.
Love forever, yours truly, Durant.
Okay. Meta moment. I can't remember the actual first sending that you sent him. So
I was asking for an update on the business of carving the candlestick holders that I commissioned for Daenerys.
Yes. Okay. He responds, your commission is complete. Where shall I deliver them? Where are you? How are you? How is everyone else doing?
What's your favorite color?
I really miss you guys.
I guess I have to burn another spell slot to
Son of a bitch.
You're gonna freaking pen pal.
Let's do this the whole session.
All right, count me in again, guys.
All right, you're out, Mikey.
Oh, all right. So, well, I mean, I should be mostly dressed, being just a druid. So I'll probably walk over, grab my stick, and then I don't know, probably go roam around the halls for a little bit. Maybe go back down and grab a sausage and come back up in the time it takes everyone to get ready.
Okay, Riff, how about you?
Are you guys done with your thigh touching and sausage eating yet, so we can get ready and meet Shem? Because I'm ready to go. I'm getting a little bit You know what? I'm gonna go look for Red Trish and see if she'll show me some do some sword practice with me. I'm so rusty.
You know
So
what they say, Riff?
Red Trish is actually, now that the other guys are out of the room, she's changing.
Okay.
She's suiting up.
I'm just gonna head outside, head out front of the inn.
Okay. It is a bustling day in the village. It's a little chilly still in the morning. It's probably like 60 degrees. There's a light fog kind of coming in off the woods, but you see a lot of people moving around, doing things. You see some people kind of pulling up carts to this central little market trading hub. And yeah, I mean, you see people going to and fro. You do see, like you did last night, that there is a militia, and that the militia members, there's only like one who basically is like a constable in the trading plaza, but the rest of them all seem to be like kind of stationed closer to the walls and the palisades and the gates. Durant, do you actually do another sending to Zev?
I can wait on that until
Okay.
some later point.
Okay. So basically you guys, as you kind of do your things to get ready, you eventually head over to the room, and Shem is there. And you see he is now dressed. He's wearing like a very nice like brocade jacket, with like a vest and a blousey kind of nobleman's shirt underneath it. And he has very nice pants and black leather boots, shiny black leather boots. And he's kind of putting on gloves, and you notice he has a leather satchel that he is carrying. And he says, "Now then, my friends, while I am looking into matters regarding real estate, I would like you to perhaps take a short trip to the north towards the Mage's Tower. But let me be clear, under no circumstances should you truly approach or attempt to explore the tower. I would simply like you to reconnoiter the area surrounding the tower. As such, I am going to loan you a possession of mine." He reaches into his satchel and he pulls out a leather cylinder.
Cloak of invisibility, come on.
And there's a glass on one end and a glass on the other. And he looks to all of you. Each one of you, he kind of like looks at you for about 5 or 6 seconds. And then he says, yes. And he hands it to Durant. And he says, "You should most certainly use this looking glass to observe what you can of the tower. Do make note, all of you, as you scout the surroundings of the tower, of anything that could be of significance or something that stands out, as well as any potential threats that you perceive. But once again, I urge you strongly, do not approach the tower. There are certainly going to be some machinations, magical defenses, or other elements which would seek to prohibit you from entering it. And it is not yet time for us to begin that endeavor. But I would be quite appreciative of a thorough scouting of the area today."
The worst that could happen.
So Durant is going to look at the looking glass that was handed to him. Does it seem like just a standard looking glass, or does it seem to have any magical properties?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. That's a 23.
Jesus.
What? He's
There,
hacking.
you've seen looking glasses before. In fact, you you recall while you were on the ship up here, you recall seeing looking glasses. This one looks a little bit different though. And as you're examining it, the leather cylinder in which the glass elements are placed has been embossed with symbols, arcane symbols.
Good to know. So just for the record, Arcana is one of the skills that doubles my proficiency bonus. So yeah, it's ridiculous. It's a +9. In any case, now that I'm aware of that, can I investigate the historical significance of any of the glyphs on it? If there is any.
You can, but Shem stands and he's like, I am going to my appointment with the village clerk. I hope to see you and all of you probably around dinner time. So good luck, be safe, and we will reconnect later.
Shem, before you go, one question.
Yes.
Have you done any study into extra-dimensional spaces?
Of course.
I'm wondering if maybe we could pool our resources and make some kind of library in such a space.
For now, I will simply answer, obviously. And then he turns and he gets up and walks out. You guys are in the room. You hear the sound of clanking metal in the hallway outside. And as Shem is leaving, you see Red Trish in full plate with the helmet on, coming down the hall. Clang, 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 clang. She kind of follows Shem. So what do you guys do?
Hey,
I guess we don't. Do we have any way of writing up there? We don't anymore, do we?
Well, I mean, your credit in town is pretty good, let's say. So if you,
hawk.
yeah, if you wanted to acquire some horses, you could do that.
I think I'm the only one that could possibly ride the hawk. We are going to have to get some
I want
horses.
you to turn into a horse, and I want to ride you. Is this doable? Or no, Durant could have
We
his.
could
Does he have
save
that
money.
levitation? Doesn't he have that spell? Yeah, and then he can just drag us around.
Actually, that's not a terrible idea because it will follow me, and if I'm on horseback, it'll follow me pretty quick.
That'll be the most bizarre sight. I think we have to do it.
I think I agree. We have a horse left, right?
You guys can rent horses from the stables.
I mean, yeah, we could do that, Bill, but
You could. Or, the druids could both like
become horses.
escape into birds and fly there, or into mice and just ride along on Rift's shoulders. I mean, there's any number of options.
So what kinds of birds can you turn into? Like, what's the size limitation of druids at your level?
Well, I can't, but I think that Ecker can with his circle.
I'd circle the shepherd.
Oh, that's right. Circle of the Moon would give it to you, but Circle of the Shepherd wouldn't, right?
Okay,
Right.
yeah. So you guys aren't on flight speed yet.
No, but I could turn into like a
No.
tick and ride on like, a hawk or something.
Riff grabs the looking glass from Durant really quick and says, "Give me that gnomish optical device." And he turns it around backwards and looks at Estroff with it. And he's like, "Whoa, you're really far away, Estroff. This is cool. It's like the one you used to have. Look."
You
Hands it to Estroff.
you do it. It definitely inverts the size of Estroff. Yeah.
He's even tinier.
I hand it to Estroff.
I go and I
Okay.
look at Riff the same way, and I tell him, "I don't see it. I'm not very far away."
Take that, Shem. We're all going to touch it. Just Durant.
Okay, let's just go. I'll get some horses.
Okay,
and I'll get
Durant
this
is
done.
going to take the looking glass back from Esteroff.
Okay.
You can try.
Is there anything we need to do
Durant
before we
tickles your
leave?
chin.
Oh my god, I thought we could nice things.
All right, we should probably just go rant and save our circle.
Yeah.
Our wild shape.
Let's do
Totally
that.
up to you guys.
Let's be adults.
Yeah, right. We're supposed to be setting examples. I don't know what we're supposed to be doing, but let's just all go get some horses and let's ride out.
I'm gonna wild shape on the rented horse.
Guys, are you okay with that? Let's all get some horses.
Sure.
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
sure.
They said reluctantly.
And before we head out of town, Durant is going to go to, I think you said there was a temple or two?
There are two, I don't even want to call them temples. They're more like modest churches in this village.
Okay, are there like clergy present?
So one of the churches is a pantheon church, which includes several gods, not Daenerys specifically, but Lathander and Helm. And then I forgot the other deities in that pantheon, but basically a bunch of the good gods. And then another one is dedicated to Mistra. And the other church that's dedicated to Mistra, you see the doors are like closed and there's chain around the doors and there's a padlock on the door. But the first church is open. There's actually like a caretaker in there, kind of cleaning up, lighting candles. No other patrons are in there, but.
Okay, so Durant is going to approach him.
Well, good morning.
Good morning to you. May Daenerys' blessing shine upon you.
Ah, indeed.
And I'm going to palm him 3 gold.
But what a generous donation. My lord, you honor us. And he immediately walks over to a large wooden box that's banded with metal and has a huge padlock on it. And he drops the coins into this donation box. And he's like, please, my lord, feel free to choose a candle and take your time to say prayers as you would.
I'll do exactly that and spend a few minutes in prayer to Daenerys.
Okay. Yeah. While you're there, nobody else really comes in.
Guess while he does that, we can go ahead and go grab some horses.
You do. You notice that the man at the stables pulls out a ledger book and he writes down, 4 horses for the day. He writes down the horses, and then he gets them saddled for you and blankets and all that stuff, and he brings them out. So all of you have horses.
Guess we could probably pack a lunch from the inn.
Yeah, that's
could.
a good idea.
Okay. They're very
Leave it
eager.
to Esther off to think of food.
They're very eager to please you. They're like, a picnic basket? Of course. So just give us a few minutes. And they scurry off. And in short order, they come out with a basket that has like 3 loaves of bread, a big hunk of cheese, a bunch of apples, and some dried meat, some basically like some jerky.
I tip them and they help me put it on my horse. And I ask them, so what are you going to eat?
They hand they load you up. So you guys have your horses. Durant has said his prayers, and it occurs to you that you don't know a lot about the Mage's Tower other than it's north out of the village. And yet the odd thing is that there's no gate heading north out of the village. The only gate
Probably ask somebody.
is the one that you guys came in and out of.
Right.
Is there any sort of library in town?
No.
Okay. Any sort of house of good tiding, of good stature and make that would...
The
make
Carpenters
Durant
Guild,
think-
the Carpenters Guild has probably the nicest building. It's like other than, I mean, it's even nicer than the inn. It's like a 2-story epic log cabin with a huge like front porch. Like you could have a party outside on the front porch with like a nice roof overhang. That seems to be the most prominent building. And even as we're just walking by it, you hear in the yard behind the guild house the sound of like work being done, right? Hammers banging, saws sawing.
Is anybody with Durant at this point, or is Durant solo?
I'll say that you have a few minutes while they're acquiring horses.
Durant's gonna knock on the door.
Buy us a gate.
The door is open.
So I guess I walked through the gate and walked through the door.
You see a rather burly man with his sleeves rolled up. He kind of comes over to you, and he's walking with a piece of charcoal and a ledger book, and he kind of comes over to you and he's like, "Good morning, sir. Can I help you?"
Morning. At some point, we will probably need your services in the near future. But for now, just a question.
Yes.
What do you know of the Mage's Tower and the land that surrounds it?
Not a lot. Nobody really goes up that way. A lot of rumors, really. Some folks say there's orcs that live up in the flooded forest. Some folks say there's a hag who captures travelers and eats them. Some say it's haunted. We don't go up that way. We stick to the woods in our area. It's not that far, though. Only 5 miles.
What
I
sort
wonder
of
if Shem didn't
terrain
want to go.
between here and there?
What's that?
What sort of terrain between here and there?
Just woods.
So nothing notable?
Not that I can say. About 3 miles north, you'll notice there's a difference. The trees themselves. Older woods. We don't cut there.
Okay. Well, thank you, kind sir. You've been very helpful. Durant will palm him at least a few silver.
He like looks at it and he's like, "You're welcome." He puts it in his pouch.
Okay, Durant will return to the group.
Okay, you guys are all together. There's no gate going north out of the town. The only gate is the one that you guys came through. So what do you want to do?
First thing Durant is going to do is share at least the information that he got from that guy.
Okay, you do.
And then he's going to produce his hawk on his shoulder.
Okay. The hawk hears.
I like to imagine that you've been practicing that in the mirror.
I have, totally.
Go on,
Both
hawk
you guys.
off.
That's right.
So is there any meat visible sort of in the top of the picnic basket?
Yes.
I'll grab a tiny piece of meat and throw it to the hawk.
The hawk like snaps it out of the air before it even like 2 inches after it leaves your fingers.
I look offended.
Well done, friend.
Don't worry, hawks don't eat bread and cheese, so you're all good.
Okay.
I don't think I've named this hawk yet.
Hockey McHawk face.
He's got to earn his name first. He hasn't
Yeah.
really
Right.
proven himself in.
He could die today. Why bother naming him?
Right.
All right, so you guys ride out on horseback, and getting out of the main gate. You guys see militiamen there manning it. You're kind of waiting to get out as a cart is coming in, and you notice the militiamen are very thorough. Like they check the cart. They kind of like prod with sticks, through the crops that are in the cart. They kind of talk to the farmer, and you overhear them ask the farmer, like, "Are you sick? Anyone in your household been sick?" And the farmer's like, "No, we're all healthy." And they look at him. They look at each other, and they're like, "Okay, go through." And when the farmer's cart goes through, the one guy turns and looks at you all, and he goes, "Leaving so soon? You just got here last night."
We're going sightseeing. We don't really know this area very well, so we just want to see what's around.
No, be careful. Don't go
What do
too
we-
far north. The flooded forest is dangerous. There's raiders there.
Orc raiders.
Yes.
Anything else we need to be worried about out that way?
He's like, "Not as far as I'm concerned."
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna roll insight.
Yeah, go ahead.
God dang it. Nat 1.
I'll take a shot at it. Hold up, so that way I can get a roll in today.
By the
Yeah,
way,
tell her.
is Blingo with us?
Oh, 17.
17's good enough for you to know that he is not comfortable answering that question. He seems to be omitting some information. I will say this one time. You guys have to choose right now if Blingo is with you, appearing to be a child, or not. If you don't want him with you, then he's hiding back up in the room.
I say he's with us
Oh,
as a
I was
child.
gonna say
I was going to say the room.
Okay, no, I'm fine. I won't. I'm not. This is the hill I'm going to die on.
And are the red shirts with us, or are they staying
Unlike
back?
Blingo.
The red shirts are split between, so 2 of them have gone to sleep because they pulled guard duty. 2 of them are with the wagon, and Trish, as far as you know, went with Shem on his business meeting.
Yeah, we loaded Blingo full up with sausages. He's ready to go.
So I see Riff sees Acker looking a little bit cross-eyed or whatever at the guy for him not wanting to share, and Riff wants to try to persuade something out of him. So he's like, seriously, if you know of anything else that's out there that you're worried about somehow getting back to town, because I see you guys constantly checking people for disease and sickness. You should probably give us an idea of what you're uncomfortable talking about.
He kind of looks at you, and then he looks back at the other men, and they all seem kind of rigid. And he says, "Why don't I take a walk with you and show you the forests where our lumber industry is? It's should be men working out there now."
Yeah, I'd definitely like to check that out. I heard there's some older kind of trees out that way, so maybe you can tell me something about that on the way. Wink.
Follow me. So he actually heads out
Say
the gate
wink.
with you guys, and he's just walking. He walks, kind of starts going east outside of the gate. You guys are following him. And he goes like a good 150 feet before he says a word. And he keeps walking, and then he kind of pipes up and he says, "You lot aren't from around here, I'm assuming."
That would be correct. What gave it away?
Oh, we don't get too many of his kind in here. And he looks over at Acker. And that gentleman you came in with, he's been here before. Alone, but he's been here before. I recognize him.
Okay.
I don't know what your business is, and I don't know that I really want to know, but I'll tell you, flooded forest has been the bane of this region for a long time. All sorts of bad things. The orcs are the most common, but our defenses usually keep them at bay. Every once in a while, they'll try to raid a farm that's outside of the town's defenses. The timber industry, there's enough men there with axes that keep them away, but if you go north more than a few miles, that's where things can get a little bit dicey. You'll want to be careful. Now, I'm not saying I've seen these things, mind you, but for as far back as folks have been here, there's lots of rumors about what dwells up north.
Like natural things or of the unnatural sort?
Different things. Swamp creatures. Woodland sprites and spirits and ghosts, hauntings. Hags. Dire wolves. We tend to stay away from that area. The Mage's Tower is north. There's a lot of rumors about that as well. No one really knows if it's occupied or not, but the few and very rare times in my lifetime that anyone has tried to go to the Mage's Tower, either they haven't returned, or if they have returned, they were not the same.
Gotcha. So basically going this direction, there's a chance for us to meet basically the stuff out of our worst nightmares, is what you're saying.
Could be.
Interesting. Hey, one more question. Notice that there's no gate coming out this direction. Is there a particular reason for that, or just none was ever built?
There used to be a gate. When I was a child, there was a north gate. But there were some problems. And the elders of the town decided to tear down the gate and continue the palisade. That's why we only have one gate in and one gate out. See, some folks who went up far north came back different. They had a sickness. Not like a, well, I don't rightly know how to put it. They just were different.
Do any of them remain in town?
None. None of the ones who came back ever lived for more than a few days.
Happened to them?
Like a fever, a strange fever that drove them mad.
The Faerun fever, huh?
Great. Well, this sounds like fun.
If anything happens to you guys, I'm a skilled healer. You have nothing to worry about.
If anything happens to you, we do.
Right.
So don't let anything happen to me. It's simple.
It's job security.
He turns to you guys and he says, like I said, I don't want to pry into your business, but if you're going north, be careful.
Thank you, friend. We appreciate the information.
He nods and he kind of turns and starts walking back towards the town gate. You guys make your way on horseback, kind of outside of town, and there's a fair amount of cleared space outside of the town palisades. about 100 yards in each direction before you hit the woods. And as you're kind of going up the eastern side of town, heading north, you see a whole bunch of lumberjacks working, cutting down trees, trimming them off, loading them on, cutting them into to decent sizes and loading them onto these huge long wagons, which have like 6 wheels and 4, pack horses pulling them. And it seems to be a pretty busy morning. You guys continue riding north. And as you kind of come around to the northern side of the town, you see that there's, again, more clearing. And you see kind of out to the north, you see the woods. But you see a small clearing between the woods, like a path.
Well, first thing I'm going to do is send my hawk airborne.
Okay.
And give it, the command to sort of patrol and keep an eye out around us.
Okay, you can. Do you wait there, or are you guys going to ride forward?
I think we'll ride forward, and the bird just more or less has instructions to, make a sound if it sees something.
Got it.
Let's just ride at a nice, easy gait, just keeping our eyes on either side for anything odd, like the stoppage of sound, all of a sudden, that kind of thing.
As you guys ride north away from the town, you see that there's this is more than just a dirt path. You see cobblestones, although many of them are cracked, faded, disrepaired. There's a lot of weeds and grass growing up through this, but at some point it looks like this was a road, an actual road. And the further away from the town you go, the more in disrepair it becomes, and it's kind of covered over by leaves and just, debris and dirt, until it just kind of, you get to the mouth of where this path or road went through the woods. And it's almost like the woods on either side have kind of naturally grown back in as this path has not been used. Weeds and trees that are smaller in size grow closer to the path. So you kind of start heading through this area. The canopy of the trees, the further in you go, becomes kind of taller and sort of obscures the morning light. After about the first mile, the hawk kind of flies back and lands on Durant's shoulder and seems to just kind of be resting and maybe waiting for some kind of reward.
You're muted, man.
I guess I reach into the top of the picnic basket and give it another small piece of meat.
That's Hawk 2, Estroff 0.
I'm going to snatch one before they all run out.
Yeah, you grab some of the jerky. Your hawk then, satisfied, takes off again. Just for giggles, give me an animal handling check. I want to see how well you're bonding with your hawk.
That's 20 dirty.
Oh yeah.
A little
Hawk
too
flies
well.
out, soars down the path ahead of you guys. You're continuing to go along. After about 2 miles in, you're kind of looking at the surroundings, and the trees, still seem to be pretty normal. The space in between the trees seems to be reasonable enough where your sight line, into the woods, is pretty significant. You could see a good 500 feet into the woods. And you even see stumps here and there where it looks like maybe within the past few years, the lumberjacks have kind of moved and cleared trees. So you notice that this area is still in decent shape. By the time you get to about the 3rd mile, you hear the hawk from a distance, from a couple hundred yards up ahead, but you hear the hawk screech like, ow.
Like death screech or
Can you do that noise again, Bill? I just want to make sure I'm interpreting this correctly.
Is that one of his normal sounds, Durant?
I don't know what his normal sounds are.
You had a 20 animal handling.
Come on.
You feel like that might have been like the alarm sound.
I think we'd best be on our alert here.
Can I do pass without trace?
You could pass without trace, all of you guys, because you're in a pretty tight cluster.
Boom, done. Pass without trace.
And your horses and you all are just moving at a very quiet, stealthy kind of speed. And in fact, you're like, man,
did the hawk come back
good
first?
having. Yeah, the hawk doesn't come back quite yet, but you all are moving forward in a nice stealthy mode.
And Durant is also going to enhance ability on Acker again for the increase or for advantage on perception checks.
Okay.
Riff gets out his short bow just to be ready, guys. What if your hawk comes back changed, like that guy was saying? We got to be ready,
Oh, yeah. Can't oh geez, can't Estrov see through the hawk or see through animals?
No, I can speak with them, but that's it.
That might be me actually. I might be.
Nah, I'm not a woolwork.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look. Beast sense, I think.
Do you want to beast sense with Eric's hawk?
As long as that's no like faux pas and violation of consent.
Well, I mean, you'll have to wait until the hawk comes back to be able to beast sense from it. But
yeah, I mean, unless I see. Well, is there another like a sparrow or something nearby?
Yes. There are tons of other small creatures like squirrels and chipmunks and sparrows and robins.
Yeah, I'll do a sparrow and hope that the hawk doesn't eat it along the way.
All right.
I probably should have given you that idea.
You were on your horse and you kind of like slumped forward. You guys see this sparrow kind of land and then take off, and you notice that Acker's kind of like slumped forward on his horse. Sparrow starts flying out in the direction forward, and you see you fly, let's say 200 feet. And then as you're flying, you see something crouching next to a tree holding the hawk.
I get a. Oh, am I able to communicate with the sparrow? Part of this, like, can I tell them to get a little closer?
Yes, sure.
Okay, get a little closer, please.
Okay.
Sparrow friend.
Sparrow kind of flies closer, and you see a creature that looks like it's made out of wood. It almost at first just looks like a tree that's growing next to a bigger tree. But as you get closer, you see that the creature basically has like a humanoid form, and it looks like it's about 3 feet tall, and it has like arms, but all of its limbs kind of look like branches, and its head is just kind of like a larger branch with like twigs and leaves growing out of it, and it's basically with its hands holding the hawk, and the hawk is kind of like struggling.
It's like a dryad or something. Okay, so I can't get any further detail on why, any sort of motivation behind this.
No, because it's a tree thing and it doesn't really emanate a lot of emotion. Like, it's barely, I mean, it's honestly barely even moving.
I am Groot.
Yeah, right. I was thinking, is there? I'm gonna get the sparrow to like do a dive bomb at the tree's eye, and then, or is the sparrow have a little more brains than to be?
You're not sure the tree has eyes.
Okay. Well. Okay. Well, then I send the sparrow back, and I regain consciousness. I back up on my horse, and I convey that to the group. It says, Durant, something that a tree has your hawk. I don't know if I've seen anything like this. I don't know if it's a person or what, but something's got your hawk.
Is it only one?
It appears that way.
Durant is at this
Don't know what to
point
tell you, buddy.
then going to perceive through his hawk at this point.
Okay. You are terrified by the fact that your hawk is basically snared in a bunch of branches. And you see this kind of looks like a tree, a little tree growing up next to a bigger tree. And it's not moving. But your hawk is like basically trapped, and there's like twigs that have its beak closed, and then there's twigs that have its like head and its wings and its feet. Like it's basically snared.
Okay, do I see anything that resembles muscle or organ, or is it just tree?
It just looks like basically kind of like if you had like a dead tree, like a shrub that died, that's kind of what it looks like. It has some twigs that grow up out of the top of it with a few leaves, but other than that, it's just kind of bark.
Okay, I'm gonna pop back to myself. I didn't get much sense of anything. Is my hair okay?
Gorgeous.
Nobody made pigtails on you this time.
Oh God, that's right. Now I'm remembering.
Hey, Estroff, do you remember anything like this back in our forest, or talk of a creature like
Make a
this?
nature check, Mike.
Yes. I was gonna. I mean, yeah.
Nice. That would be 22.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, you've heard of these before. Sounds to you like it could be a blight. You know that there are certain creatures that are plant creatures, magically animated and somewhat sentient. And that oftentimes these are created by evil beings who have corrupted nature to create minions.
We gnomes know of these. I heard stories of them, though I've never come in contact with them. They're known as blights. Basically trees that will want to kill us.
So circle around with a lot of fire.
Yeah, I go ahead and I just make my flame blade. Like,
There it
yes,
is.
fire's a good idea.
You guys are moving up towards this, because remember, it's a few hundred feet ahead of you.
We're still hidden. We're still hidden, right?
Oh, Bill, can I do speak with plants? Would that work?
You probably could.
Let's get a closer look at this thing, guys. Let's still keep moving silently. Got Acker's.
Well, the thing is,
Right.
we're going to have to move outside of our circle of comfort here if we want to try and approach this from multiple sides at once.
I mean, the goal here is to free the bird, right? So to
I want to
speak.
look at the trees around us and see if this seems like an area that I would have heard of, that like blights would have been common, or if it seems like this blight is somewhat out of place.
Well, you do notice that the underbrush of this area is a little thicker, like as if the lumberjacks have not come this far north or have not done anything here. You don't see stumps. The forest itself has grown tighter and encroached more on the path that you guys are on. The canopy, is definitely thicker. Barely any of the sunlight's kind of coming in. There's kind of a dampness, bit of a fog.
So we've hit like the 3 mile marker where the trees are different.
Yeah, you're starting to see things are looking different from what was closer to town.
All right, then I tell Durant when he starts talking about possibly taking it from multiple sides, I would not recommend veering into the woods right now.
What if we...
I really want to just approach this thing and do speak with plants. I super want to do this.
Everything is open, as you well know. And by evidence of that, for those of you who haven't been playing in this private game, again, when the party decides to make an alliance with your big bad end guy, all plans go out the window.
Yes.
Y'all could do whatever you want, but you're sitting on a road right now, and 150 feet north of you is Durant's hawk captured by a little shrub.
Acker just says, "Look, I'll go handle this," and he starts walking up. He's going to be a little reckless here.
Okay. Your passive perception is
good, as long as there are no follow-up questions. How do I? Oh yeah, there it is. 16.
Good Lord.
Jesus.
All right. You start going up. You all see Acker. Are you dismounting from the horse and stealthing up, or what's your
yeah.
Go ahead and make a stealth roll.
Well, and plus the passive, or passive trace, I should say. Jesus. So 2 plus 10 is 12 plus 18. Rolled a 2 and I got an 18.
All right. Somehow, even though you trip over like a root in the road, you still manage to stealth up, and you get up to this area. Before I adjudicate what happens, Riff, Durant, what are you guys doing?
Guys, well, I had an idea, but he's gone.
An idiot.
he took off. He's so, man, he just likes to go strong without talking to us first. Sometimes I was going to say,
sorry.
What if one of us went ahead and broke out of Paso Trace while the rest of us followed hidden just to try to draw the thing out, and then the rest of us could sort of get surprised on it. But he's gone.
You guys could all still catch up. I don't think I'm there yet.
I think.
Do you think
that's what I would like to do?
Do you guys think we're still hidden because Ecker's left? So I don't know if we're still.
I will allow this retcon to occur. So let me just get this straight. You all are going to hang back like 20 feet behind Acker and stay within the pass without a trace.
Yeah, we can still do that.
Okay.
His way and our way.
On horses or not on horses?
Sorry, Andy.
I need to know on horses or not.
Off.
Durant is off horse, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
So I'm going to say you take a minute to tie your horses up to
fair.
a branch on a tree somewhere so they don't run off. And then you guys start moving. Acker, you're a little bit ahead. The rest of you guys are lagging back about 20 feet behind. You move up about 150 feet, and as you're even getting closer, you see the area where you saw this shrub creature holding Durant's hawk. And Acker, it's a little different because the last time you saw this, you were looking through the sparrow's eyes. But you definitely see, because you were able to find it, and you see the hawk kind of still struggling a little bit. Doesn't look like the shrub killed the hawk. Shrub still leaning up against a big tree and holding the hawk and not moving.
Okay. So I assume the rest of the party is somewhat hidden still inside it.
I don't know if hidden is the best word. I mean, you're coming up a path. Unless you guys are kind of piggybacking along the tree line and trying to hide behind trees and move up one at a time. It's hard for them to stay in your pass without a trace zone without being within 20 feet of you. So
Yeah, I'm just moving naturally as if I'm just walking down the path.
okay.
Yeah.
But staying back. I want to be within. I want to hear what Acker says to this tree. I want to know how you talk to plants. That should be interesting.
Here,
Take it a
here we
say.
go. Okay, cast speak with plants
Okay.
Say something intish.
in shrubbery. I
Um,
Me?
okay. You do. What would you like to say?
Release the hawk.
Make a persuasion check.
Please. Okay. This is my day. 19.
That is very persuasive. The shrub creature goes like, it kind of slowly reaches forward and peels back its branches, and the hawk kind of flutters, and then like as soon as its feet are free, it just jumps up and starts flapping its way back and flies back towards Durant. And it's like, ah!
Why did you capture the hawk?
It points up.
Oh, I thought for some reason I thought it would be verbal, but I guess it doesn't have to be.
It can understand you.
Right. But it probably doesn't have so much of a mouth.
But actually, I'm going to look this up because of your magic, it might be able to actually. Normally, these can understand some things but can't speak. So let me look at this. You imbue plants within 30 with limited in. Yeah. Yes. Plants might be able to perform other tasks on your behalf. The spell doesn't enable plants to uproot themselves and move about, but they can freely move branches, tendrils, and stalks. If a plant creature is in the area, you can communicate it with it as if you shared a common language, but you gain no magical ability to influence it. Okay.
It doesn't really answer that question, does it? Bill, I'm willing to say please.
It doesn't, but you know what? It's a third level spell. So I'm going to say that your magic allows it to go beyond its ability to simply understand you. So it points up and it's like, none shall pass above.
Why?
The woods here are guarded.
By whom?
Actually, it doesn't know. It's like, we don't know.
I'm just kidding because I never thought I'd be able to use a spell. So,
It keeps pointing up, though.
what
Riff
what
looks
is
up.
up?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
Can Durant notice that from the distance he's at?
Yeah, make a perception check. You guys are all like within 30 feet at this point. And you see this weird interaction as Acker like crouches down in a cat-like position,
Interpretive dance.
like
That's,
10 feet away from the shrubbery, and it is like speaking with it.
That's an 11 for Durant. So
12. Not much better.
what's sad is
And a
my
1.
passive is 16.
You guys look up and you just see big trees, like, old. These are old trees that clearly no lumberjacks have messed with, and they're real big, and they go up, and their canopy just basically obscures the sky.
Are there any other dangers ahead?
Yes.
So I go back to the guy and say, could you use some help here? Like, that says that the creature says that the woods are guarded, but doesn't know by whom and doesn't, or from whom, and doesn't, just keeps pointing upward.
Hey, Acker, ask it if we continue going this direction, will we be in danger of from trees like him or any of the other trees here?
Okay. Last time I asked something like that, you just pointed up. But let me
Oh.
try again. That in that way, if we continue down this path, is it safe for us, or are there more either creatures like you or other things that could hurt us?
Not safe.
Said,
All right. Make one more perception check.
Okay. It's like a dragon right above us. Oh, it is my day.
Dang it.
Natural 20. And
You notice that there's something different about the tree. Remember how I described the shrubbery, like kind of like leaning up against a bigger tree? So the bigger tree that it's leaning up against, very old, real tall tree, you notice as you look up at that, the branches on that tree don't have any leaves on it. Like it's basically like a dead tree.
is that tree a normal tree, or is it special or magical?
Yes.
Shit. Is the tree a normal tree?
No.
Okay. Does that tree have some sort of influence over you?
Yes.
Is that tree not actually a tree? Is the tree a person?
No.
Shit. Okay. I go back and I relay this to the team and ask them if they have any insight.
Just ask if we can go.
Durant is
Estroff.
going to. Go ahead.
Astroff, make another nature check.
That's an 11.
Yeah, I'm stealing all your guys' luck today.
No.
You're not sure about this.
Durant is going to cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Okay.
Ooh.
What's the range on that?
Funny you should ask. It is within 30 feet.
You
I guess I would
detect
have to be.
no poison or disease.
How close am I to that big tree, though?
You're 30 feet.
Okay.
You step 5 feet forward. You can walk around in a circle if you want. There's no poison or disease.
If we destroyed that tree, would we become safe?
We don't know.
Would you like me to destroy that tree?
It doesn't move.
Riff gets out his whittling knife and picks up a stick off the ground, and he looks up at that tree, and he takes a knife and he goes and whittles off a big piece of the bark, just all the while like looking at the tree to see if it moves.
So here's what happens. About 100 feet up, one of the branches goes. Woof.
Hey, did you guys see that?
Yes.
And you see your little shrub who you've been talking to is like, go back to people place. Do not pass.
Yeah, I think that if we keep going, this big tree is going to do something to us. We were being told we should probably head back. What do you
we see
think?
any others that look like it? Like the tall one?
Yeah.
Let's see. You look around? No.
Durant is going to pull out the spyglass.
Whoa!
And try to look a little further away.
Yeah, there it
Durant
is.
gets a point of inspiration.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Durant
Well,
can pull out the
right away.
spyglass. What do you do with the spyglass, Durant?
First thing I'm going to do is look at the tree to see if it reveals anything about the tree, and then.
Oh, it sure does.
Oh, nice.
The big dead tree in front of you is definitely a sentient, magical, living thing. And it is huge. Not large, huge.
Hey, Durant, look
and
straight
then
up.
I'm also going to look.
As you're looking at the
other
dead
directions.
tree through this, you see that you almost see like an aura around it. Like you see this corruption of nature in magic that has imbued the sentience and properties on this tree. And as you're kind of tracing that aura to look around in the forest, you notice that the tree's roots are very shallow and also contain that same magical sentience, and that the roots span out from the tree for like 150 feet around you.
Need to burn this thing.
Guys,
No.
I think I have some bad news here. We're standing on some roots here from a tree that is clearly not friendly per se. Yeah.
Let's go around it.
I think we're fucked. I think we're already in it.
Acker, ask your friend if he knows any weaknesses to this thing.
Hey, if we wanted to defend ourselves from the tree, how can we do so best?
Run.
Okay. If we go back the other where we came, will we be attacked?
No.
But if we keep going, will this tree chase us?
Take you like Twig took Flying Bird.
Riff starts backing up very slowly back towards the horses.
Yeah.
Guys, you might want to come this way.
Okay. Is there something we can do to help you, Twig? Or thing?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And then I relayed that last bit of information to the group.
Make a nature check, Acker.
Okay. On luck. 20, not natural.
It occurs to you that if you were speaking magically with
I probably could talk to this.
with the shrub, that in theory, the big tree might have heard everything that you said, number one. And number two, you could speak to the big tree.
Okay. I mean, yeah, if you're just going to spell it out for me, Bill.
Well, I mean, you know, your character would know the capabilities of this.
I know, I
spell.
just feel dumb for not thinking about that myself.
And the spell lasts for 10 minutes, and you've been like talking to this shrub for like 1 minute, right? So like,
Okay.
you know the nature of your spell. You've studied it, and you know what you're capable of doing. So I'm simply pointing out that that's an option.
Okay. So I'm going to look up and say, hey there, big guy.
You see the tree like lean forward, like all of its branches lean forward, as if it's sort of stooping down a little bit to talk to you.
Okay. So I'm not sure if you heard our conversation, but I'm concerned that if we keep going forward, you're going to try to grab us. Is that true?
Yes.
Why?
Guardian.
So you were turned into a guardian by whom?
Don't remember.
Okay. Is there a way that we can pass safely past you?
Must guard road.
Are you able to get up and move? Are you able to move your roots?
You see the roots start to pull out of the ground, and this thing moves.
Are
And
we
now it
standing on
situates
those
itself.
roots?
I mean, you guys literally have to like move out of the way as these roots, they're not attacking you, but they like pull out of the ground, and this thing literally kind of like walks to the middle of the road now.
Shiza. Okay.
And it says can move.
Okay. So
Do you pass along any of that?
I pass along all of that in case the message wasn't clear to the team.
Ask it.
So
Ask
the
it.
tree said that it guards the road.
Right.
Yeah, so
I was
can
just
we
thinking
go
that
around the
too.
road?
Hey, yeah, I thought we could do that too. But ask it, Acker. Would you leave us alone if we go back where we came from?
Would.
Make
I
sure to
know, I was
emphasize
so
would. See if it has
So-
a sense of humor.
Would you leave us alone if we went back the way we
no,
came?
Would you leave us alone?
Oh,
Sorry.
Jesus. Would you leave us alone if we went back the way we came?
Yes.
Okay. So my spell's about to run out, guys. Is there anything
Well,
I should be asking?
Check the
Giant-
loophole.
Giant evil trees never lie, I'm sure, but we should probably go back and find a different way around anyway.
Yeah, I'm not seeing an easy out here, and this thing looks like it could make a quick work of us.
Well, thank it for its time.
Well, thank you very much, my colossal friend, my humongous friend. You keep rocking on. We'll see you later. We'll leave you alone.
We wave.
You notice that it stays there. You guys start pulling back towards the horses.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right thing to do.
Okay. Once you get about 100 feet away, it lumbers over to the spot it was in before.
Okay.
You get back to your horses. They have not been killed or eaten by anyone. So
Yes.
they do seem a little spooked. Like when you got back there, like they were all looking in the direction where you guys were.
Well, this is an interesting turn of events, gentlemen. Any suggestions?
You see, I mean, having looked at the area that you were in, it's not inconceivable that you could go off-road and go through the forest around the road to go north. However, like I said, there is a significant amount of underbrush, so there's no way you're taking the horses through that. Like you guys would have to literally like chop your way through the underbrush.
Okay. What's the time
y'all
of day?
have to. I'm not going to struggle at all.
But yeah, good point.
Right.
I mean, it's still, you guys, you've literally traveled like 3 miles. It's still like morning.
Okay.
So Durant has an idea, perhaps, that he's going to approach the group with.
Dispel magic. I don't know.
You know how I can make a disc for everyone to float on?
Yes.
I think I could actually do that and bring you guys over the underbrush, so it's technically only me who has to go through the underbrush.
Well, it's true. Well, both Estroff and myself could, turn into something small that fits on your shoulder as well. It would just mostly be for a riff.
Hey, do you think
Probably fit his ego.
do you think it was
Right.
only do you think it was actually only guarding the road, guys? So like if we went back north and we floated on these discs where we weren't touching the road, it wouldn't bother us if we floated through
I've got a
or
feeling that
over.
I've got a feeling that while that may be true, if it sees us crossing, not over the road, then as long as out of sight, out of mind, we'd probably be safe.
Well, how high can those discs float? Like, could we go up over top of them and stay in line with the road?
No,
I don't think so. I think it
it
just
doesn't
follows.
go that. It doesn't. It just follows me. It doesn't go that high.
No.
I could go up like maybe 15, 20 feet, something like that. But at this point, Durant is going to pull out the spyglass again,
Yeah, I think
Just-
that's the right thing to do.
scan around, because maybe there are others of these trees blocking the woods.
You do not see. Well, so first of all, here's what you do see. You feel like your ability to see through like the mist and the fog and kind of the dim light is completely cleared when you're looking through this. Like you see clearly and in crisp detail out to 120 feet when you're looking through this. And you see beyond that as if like you had full light. So you figure you're looking out 300 feet in every direction and you don't see another dead tree, basically, or shrub.
I'll relay that to the group.
Well, I think so. We have, here's our question here: Do we keep going or we turn back? That's the first question you need to answer.
Well,
I mean,
say
I'd
we
like
keep
to get
going.
eyes on the mage's tower.
yeah, that was
Okay.
kind of our mission.
So if we're going to keep going, then the question is do we go through the forest or do we try to run past this tree guy or
Well,
sneak past him or something?
You guys can get very small. Or you can turn into something maybe that can make it through the underbrush easier than, say, Rifferi.
Yes, like a squirrel. If you guys turned into squirrels,
Or a fox or something?
you would be right, like easily.
So with my circle, it's like it's just a field.
Right.
So I can just walk through there and y'all can struggle.
So what is it, just Riff and Durant having to deal with the crap of the underbrush?
Basically. When I was looking through the looking glass, did I see any particularly easier paths through the woods?
Make an Arcana check.
Also, is there a range with the looking glass? Like, I'm just trying to wonder if Durant needs to go point.
That's a natural 19, so 28.
Nice.
Jesus. You see everything.
So,
It's right. I can taste colors.
so here's what it's not so much what you see, it's what you kind of realize. You at this point feel like this must be a magic item. With your knowledge of Arcana, you know that most magical items have some functions, but that if you attune to them, you may sort of unlock certain other abilities or functions of said item.
Attunement takes an hour, correct?
Yes.
Did you say there was markings like runes or
Yes.
something? Does
Embossed in the leather are magical markings and runes.
Riff goes over to look at it just to see if it's familiar. Recognizes any of the markings.
You can make an Arcana check. There.
Six.
Yeah, so you're not really sure, but Durant, you're pretty sure that these are divination oriented in nature. But you feel that if you attuned, you might have a better grasp of how to fully utilize the looking glass.
Guys, can we rest here for an hour while I take a look at this looking glass a little more and see if I can figure out some other properties?
We can, just a heads up, I probably only have about 45 minutes left of my pass without trace without having to re-up it. So no problem, just wanted to, in case that's an issue, just heads up.
We should be safe. We're on the main road and we're closer to the town than anything else, I think.
What if we
Good
if we both use our wild shape and your pass without trace to see if we could test the theory of passing the trees barrier?
Gosh, I wonder if that thing can, I mean, the pass without trace doesn't protect against any magical trace. So if that thing's able to detect us with some sort of magic.
Yeah, but if we were something like, say, maybe a wolf where we could actually hear it moving, long enough, ahead of time and either rush in or rush back out.
It's true. I
Come
feel
back and
like,
be this is a
funny
shit
thing
idea.
about that, guys, is that I have a spell called non-detection.
Nice.
Which protects against magic.
so in theory, if we pass without trace and combined with non-detection, this might be crazy enough to work.
But the
Just
problem
use the
is it only
road.
works for
Yeah,
two
right?
people. I think I can only cast non-detection on one person, though. Let me just verify that.
Maybe we should have just passed without trace from the get-go and gone right by that tree.
Yeah, I got a feeling it would have.
And sacrificed airborne, or whatever we're calling.
That's right. Hawkeye.
Lion Hawk.
I'm okay. I mean, if we want to bum rush this thing and just go past it, or if we could turn into, like, Estroff and I could turn into a couple pair of wolves and see if it only cares about humanoids. What's the worst that could happen?
Some dead wolves.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, we've got a
so-
bunch of potential viable options here.
But non-detection I can only cast on a single target. So.
But the safest thing to do here for the party, as we know, is probably just to go to the underbrush.
Well, I go and I get the picnic basket and I start handing out some bread.
Okay.
Okay.
I feed my hawk some more meat.
So while Durant is attuning and focusing on his mantra, Acker, Riff, what are you guys doing?
I don't know.
Riff is gonna go off to the western side of the path, maybe go into the woods, just like I don't know, 100 feet or so, just to see what it's like getting through, like how dense it is and everything.
You can do it. It's just difficult terrain.
Right.
So you start making your way through, and it takes a little bit longer, but you get 100 feet west of the road.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna kind of just sit still for a few minutes, like 5 minutes, and just perceive passively, I guess, just listen and
well, that's
see.
actively. So go ahead and make a perception.
Okay, that's
check.
true. That
Estroff,
would be.
while he's doing that, Estroff, what are you doing?
I'm cutting the bread up, or I guess I don't really have a knife or anything, so I'm ripping the bread in half and making me a sandwich.
Excellent.
18.
Excellent choice, sir.
18 on the perception check.
Okay. It is the sound of forest. Like, crickets, birds, squirrels.
And every bird is super loud
Yeah.
every time it touches a leaf.
Okay.
Yep. There's a deep woodsy smell, and you see that, a lot of the underbrush, like the mulch and stuff is damp, and there's a lot of moss.
Okay. I'm just going to walk directly back the way I came and
Okay.
let everybody know that, hey, guys, well, I get back first, however long that takes me. And then just,
You
hey,
do.
guys, it's difficult terrain, but it's not that bad. It's very doable. I think we could veer off if we decide to do that. And I stayed up there for a few minutes just to listen and look. And it's pretty much like we'd expect from a forest, that it's at least not heavily guarded by little blights or whatever that thing was. Of course, there could be more out there, but it doesn't look like it would be difficult to travel as we thought. Of course, maybe if you guys still wanted to shape change and go somewhat in front of us and it's easier for to go, you're scouting ahead a bit. But
Is there a duration on our shape change?
Yeah. I believe it was an hour.
I think so, yeah. An hour flies by. Durant, you feel as if this looking glass, this magically imbued looking glass, grants you several important things. It grants you the ability to see clearly, even in darkness, for a range of 120 feet. And it magnifies everything in your range as need be. Additionally, you can recite the runes that are on the looking glass to enact the spell True Seen. And this is something that you could do once per day.
Oh, okay. So first, I'm just
you guys. So here's how you guys see this. Y'all are eating like cheese and bread, and like having a nice little picnic. And Esroff's like, you know, slicing up apple slices. Riff kind of comes back through the woods and he tells you about what he saw. He sits down. You guys are having some little picnic snacks, and then Durant comes out of this meditation and he's like, oh my God. Oh, it's so powerful. Oh, he's like gently grasp the looking glass and he's like, oh.
I can see everything.
Wait, explain, Durant. What are you talking about?
So I can cast a spell that lets me see everything, including secret doors into the ethereal plane, up to a range of like 120 feet.
Oh, that's very specific.
Yeah. And
really.
I can see in darkness up to 120 feet, and it magnifies everything.
That's amazing. So,
including enthusiasm.
Yes. Okay. So what you're saying, and if I'm hearing you correctly, Durant, is you want to go first.
I'm going to cast the spell. That's what I want to do.
You're going to do it now?
I don't know. Should I, guys?
I don't know. By Bill's reaction, it was not expected.
I just didn't know what you guys were doing. So
are you serious, Durant?
Yeah. I'm gonna.
What are you gonna peep through? What are you gonna peep through around here, though?
He's just gonna be walking through the woods.
Well, there might be some special things around here.
All right.
Whatever keeps us safe, man.
I'm not gonna tell you how to play with your new toy.
That's right.
It's your toy.
I am definitely gonna cast True Seeing at this moment.
You guys hear?
You should wait till we see the actual mage tower first.
You hear Durant begin to recite these things, and you see that this glow comes over the looking glass. And Durant, you cast it, and you were able to look through it. You look out into the forest now, and you see quite a few things that you have not seen with your visible eye. On a tree not far off to the east of the path, you see a bunch of yellow mold growing along this tree, and it's very much sentient mold. It is magical.
Sentient mold.
You look out to the west, and like 120 feet out to the west, you see a very small tree trying to struggle and grow with very little light between the big trees that are all around it. But you see that is not, in fact, a small tree. You see the figure of a woman with green skin and green hair, and she seems to be almost like a spirit. And you like do one of these things where you like open your eye and then you look in the glass, and open your eye and look in the glass. And when you're not looking through the glass, it just looks like a skinny tree. But when you're looking through the glass, you see this female form kind of look out, and then she turns to like look at you as if she sees that you see her. And that is where we'll end this episode of D&D with Dads. Join us next time for more ridiculousness as we find out what exactly is even going on with this Mage's Tower. Awesome. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
Well, hello, it's me, Wizzy. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. And then don't forget to tune in to the next episode of whatever show you are just watching, and crafting videos and DM tips and pro tips for vlogging and all sorts of gaming things. And also you could watch Bill eat food and watch other shows featuring Bill. He made me say that because he's a narcissist. Okay, bye.